It's my great pleasure to welcome Howard Bryant on the program, senior writer at ESPN.com, also the author of Full Dissidence, Notes of an Uneven Playing Field. Howard, thanks for coming on the program.
No, it's my pleasure. Good morning.
Your book came out in January, and, the themes in those collection of essays seems like it was, it's so valid in this moment. As we start off this interview, I just want to ask you, the last week and a half, how have you been doing? How are you processing what you're seeing your country go through?
Well, I think it's been an extremely difficult period for a lot of people, and because let's not forget, there's a pandemic going on. We're all supposed to be on lockdown, and it just feels like in so many different areas the entire country's coming apart. And I think that there's a lot of evidence. I don't think it's hyperbole to think that. I think it's been way more challenging to also look at, my son. I have a 15-year-old, and these kids have been cooped up in the house the whole time, and now they're looking at their country from this different lens, and they want to go outside and join the protests and do all of this. And as a parent, you're looking at this, and it's time to have conversations that you probably didn't want to have.
Can you tell me about some of those conversations with your son?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I think that he came home the other day and walked in the house and says, "Well, I'm going to the protest." I'm like, "What protest?" He says, "There's a protest at 3:00 in our town here." And I said to him, "Well, how did you find out about it?" He's like, "Instagram." So all of a sudden, there's this massive mobilization, and I didn't want to tell him. It's very difficult. I mean, the best part of being a parent is being able to be a hypocrite, but it's kind of hard to look at the books that I write and the feelings that I have about this country and about this world, and then tell him he can't go outside and he can't be a part of it. So we went out together, and I was shocked to see over 1,000 people, maybe more, of these young people out in the street, all wearing their masks, but they were surrounding the police station in my town in Northampton, Massachusetts. It was a little frightening, but it was also very impressive that people are willing, of all races, and this town is 98% white, but they were willing to go out there and fight for what they feel is their country. It's a really difficult thing to be told that this country is free, and then for you not to feel free. And so to see people in the street is it's something that you're proud of, but as a parent, you're also pretty frightened about.
And Howard, this is why this moment is so different. Earlier in the show, I was talking about, I was watching video from Boise, Idaho, and Idaho is a very white place, and people were out. The numbers were huge, and it was, I would say it was a diverse crowd, but it was like a majority white crowd, people protesting, right? So,
well, it was Idaho, right?
Yeah, exactly, right?
But it's interesting because all of these places, I mean, this country is changing so quickly because of the economics, because people are looking at their bank accounts and they're realizing that money doesn't stretch as far. So suddenly the Idaho of your imagination is not the real Idaho, because so many people from California are moving up there and so many people from Washington are moving down there or whatever, because they're trying to find some place where their dollars can stretch. So all of a sudden, some of these places there's an injection of new politics and an injection of new attitudes in there. And I also think that there's something else in here too, and that is this idea of being free, this idea of what you believe belongs to you. And, when I was writing Full Dissidence, one of the things that I was saying was I was very nervous about those kids. If whose first election was 2008, if the Obama-McCain election was your first one and you were 18 years old, you're 30 now. Mm-hmm. And you're looking at things going backwards. And when you made that vote in 2008, you probably believed in this idea of post-racialism, and you believed that you were free, and you believed that you were going to see changes. And so now to look and see police running around in the street shooting rubber bullets into crowds, they feel betrayed.
Howard, through your lens of that intersection between politics and sports and the writing that you do at ESPN.com and your book writing, how do you look at, the NFL changed a rule so people couldn't protest peacefully in the wake of the Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the anthem. Now we've got Drew Brees coming out, the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. He just apologized this morning, and I read that apology and it speaks to me. Oh, he was told by his agent he's going to lose endorsement deals. It doesn't speak to me like it's
and he's losing the town. I mean, here's a guy who's a legend. I mean, you want to talk about, I don't know if you've ever been to New Orleans, but you want to talk about a city treasure. The New Orleans Saints belongs to everybody. I mean, it's not, you may look into the crowd and see a lot of majority white faces because the tickets are so expensive, but my goodness, that football team belongs to Black New Orleans, it belongs to white New Orleans, it belongs to Creole New Orleans, it belongs to everybody, and Drew Brees, with his comments, is tearing that thing apart, and he's in real danger of losing everything that he built in that town. But you're right. I mean, I think that the question for me, and I've been thinking a lot about this and trying to find out if there are some words to put together that actually make sense, is this is the end to me of the 9/11 era of sports, because it's very, very difficult. How do you go back right now when you've got the United States military pointing weapons at American citizens, and you've got the police out there shooting flares into crowds and pepper spraying crowds? How do you go back to a football game or a basketball game and have military appreciation night or law enforcement appreciation night? Can you go back to that? I don't think we're going back. I think that if you combine COVID and then you add that to it, and you say, how do we go to a game now? Are we going to socially distance? Are players going to give each other high fives? So you're looking at this moment in time, and you're saying, what does it look like? What is it going to look like? I don't think you can go back. I think you look at it now, and there seems to be an opportunity for a blank slate to create something different. Or maybe these corporations are going to double down and try to force the old ways back into people's throats, back down people's throats.
And can it also change for the athletes, where they no longer have to be told, shut up and dribble or whatever the refrain from the right?
This is the battle, and one of the reasons why we love sports, one of the reasons why I like to cover sports, is because most of us are replaceable as employees. If you don't like what I'm doing, more than likely they'll find somebody else to do what we do. But there's one LeBron James, there's one Kawhi Leonard, there's one Tom Brady. And so these guys have a level of power, and we'll see if these ownerships in these sports leagues back up these Blackout Tuesday and statements that they're putting out that they stand with everybody. It doesn't mean anything if they tighten the rules to prevent guys from expressing themselves. We're going to see what they do, and if they walk the walk.
Howard Bryant, senior writer at ESPN.com. He's the author of Full Dissidence, Notes on an Uneven Playing Field. Some very powerful writing there. Howard, I could talk to you all day. Unfortunately, we can't. But I'll give a plug for your Twitter, HBryant42, HBryant42, where you can see Howard's writing and just Howard, you're for the sports analogy, you're knocking it out of the park, and I appreciate you coming on the show.
No, it's my pleasure, and I love Montreal. I went for the first time last year, and I will be back, especially when the weather's better.
God, that's amazing. Howard, when you come back, please get in touch. Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you.